Welcome back, and we're going to continue working on the energy drink. We have everything modeled, and when we hit the 3 key we can see how the model actually looks, and it gives us a nice preview. So we're ready to move on to the next step. We also have the UV layout, all the UVs laid out, and the only thing we need to do now is do a smooth, and we want a very high resolution model for this, so we always want to keep the low resolution, so always save a version of the low resolution. I like to do 3 versions of this. I like to smooth it at 1. Let's go ahead and try that again. Select that. Mesh smooth. Reset settings. We want to smooth it at 1. So we want to always create a copy of it first. So do a Control D and create a layer. And we'll call this smooth A. And we'll put that, we'll take that away, and we'll do another one. Control D. Click on another one, let's do smooth B. And click that off, and do another one, Control D. And I'm doing smooth B. The reason why I'm doing this is because there's lots of times I will do an animation where I'll have 3 levels of detail. If the shot is far away, I can get away with a low resolution model. So I'll give you a kind of a this is absolutely the lowest resolution out. Notice that we could get away with way far away. It's faceted, so what we'd do here is go into the edges and select the edges, and only select the edges that are going around the object. So there are some pieces you want to keep nice and smooth, but just for time's sake I'm going to show you how to smooth those edges. So right now they're kind of faceted. If you look at that, you can see it's not really round looking. So I'm going to click on normals. Let's actually we have to select the normals. So select the edges, go to normals, and then go to soften edge. Now you can see that the edges are smooth. Okay. Alright, so that works really well. And this object's a little bit high poly for a game, but you never know. Next gen game. Let's go open up my display. And I always like to do display, heads up display, and poly count. That kind of tells me how many polys it is. Right now it's 875 faces, so it's a little high for a game, but still can be used for it. It's not out of the question. So we're gonna do smooth. So let's put this guy in its own. So this one is original. Okay, so let's do this real quickly. So turn that off. Smooth A will be smoothing at 1. Okay, I do this for everything. And turn that off, and we'll do number B. B will be smoothing of 2. This is for medium shots. Okay. And smooth C is going to be at 3 for extreme close-ups. Okay. Alright, so we've got A. Okay, for basically long shot. We've got B for medium shot, and we've got C for extreme close-up shot. It'll hold up to the camera. Okay, and then the original, of course, we always want to keep, and that can be way far away, and we could literally probably duplicate thousands of these if you wanted to show maybe a car chase and it runs into an energy drink stand and you want all these drinks to fly all over the place. So they do this in film all the time where they do stand-ins, and I've had to do a couple of commercials where I've had to do stand-ins, and that's where I learned how to do level of detail. So we got our low, our medium, and our high level of detail. Okay? Alright, so anyway, we're going to work on our high level detail because we want this can to look awesome. So I'm just going to go with smooth C, which is at 3. So the only problem with this is that smoothing has kind of jacked our UV map a little bit. So select that and click on UV texture editor, and notice that we should have this should be smooth, and this has got some warpage or warping on the ends by the edges. So those are easy to fix. I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So let's go in here, and don't worry, it's like, why didn't we smooth it first and then do the UVs? Well, let me tell you, that would have been really tough to do. Actually fixing these UVs are really simple, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm just going to select a small portion of it, right click, and go again to select shell. That'll select the whole thing. Again, you won't be able to see it. I talked to you guys about that. What we're going to do is I'm going to pull it away. I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to select the faces. Okay, I'm going to go into my perspective view, hit the F key, kind of focus it, and I'm going to go into create UVs and do a cylindrical map. Just reset settings and project. Okay. Nothing to it, and notice that everything's cleaned up. Anything that was pinched is no longer pinched. So I'm going to select these UVs. I'm going to scale them down so they fit, and I'm just going to move them down. It's pretty easy. Your computer will run a little bit slower, okay, because of the mesh being so high, but all in all, nothing to worry about. So that's cleaned up. That's good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into these pieces here, which are really messed up. Whenever you do cylindrical, or whenever you have a cylindrical shape or a round shape, it really causes problems. So when you smooth it, and we're going to go to select and select shell, and I need to select a little bit more in it, so I'm going to move down into the middle part. There we go. I'm going to right click on it, go to select shell. Okay, we're going to move that out of the way, and we're going to fix that up by doing a, whoops, I got to do one more thing. You turn that into a face. So now I'm going to select the faces. There we go. So that has to be in face mode when you do that. Now I just go in here. My computer's lagging a little bit because of all the things I'm doing. I'm recording, and that really it really messes with it. Let's go to create UVs, planar mapping, and I'm going to go in the Y direction, and then I'm going to project. Make sure it's bounding box Y, and project that. Okay, mine's running a lot slower than yours will. Open that back up and go to UVs. So I'm just going to have to take it easy, not rush it, otherwise I'll crash. And so I will scale that down and move it. Okay, and scale. It's pretty easy. Once you get your UVs laid out, just fixing this stuff is not an issue. A non-issue. Okay, it'll look really good. Look at that. So now that looks really nice. And so we're going to UVs, select a little bit of it, right click over it, go to select shell, move it out of the way, right click over it, select faces, select the faces, whoops. Let's try that again. There we go. Make sure you select all the faces. This is the bottom part. Okay. Okay, I'm going to hold down the space bar and go to create UVs, planar mapping. I'm going to do the same mapping, project. There we go. And then open up the UV editor. And there it is, all fixed. It's a miracle. And so we're going to go in here and just move it. And that looks great. So let me expand that a little bit more. Use the UV texture space we have. And everything else I think is just fine. So I'm going to go back to UVs. And when I look at this, we've got we have to look for distortion. And if you see distortion, then you probably want to fix it. I'm really not sure if it's important to go back and redo all of this because they're such small pieces. It's really up to you. If you feel like you need to go through and do all of that, that's fine. But these are edges. If you find yourself, you can always come back and fix it if you see it as a problem. But I'm going to show you something that I think will kind of let you know that I think it'll be fine. So here's our final piece. So let's go ahead and make sure that the object is selected. Okay, and it is. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and save this UV snapshot. And we are going to, I have everything set up the way I need it, 2048 by 2048. That's what we should do on most of the objects or props. And go to Browse. And this one, we're just going to be doing this name here. And then I'm just going to do underscore FIN, knowing that that's the finished piece that I want to use. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And make sure this is all set up and okay with that. Looks like it saved it okay. I'll close this out. One of the things to test how this is looking is to put a quick checkerboard on it. Before I do that, I'm going to go to Edit, Delete by Type History. Okay. Go to Modify, Freeze Transformations, and Modify Center Pivot. After all that, okay, I'm going to go ahead and File, Save As. Always save. And I'm going to do Reworked A. So I know that's my last one. Okay. Alright, once that saves, we'll put a checkerboard on there and check everything out. To do that, just go do, I've already got a blend on it, so I'm going to go Control A. And I've got a blend that's I renamed Energy Drink Texture, and I'm going to go into Color. Okay, I'm going to do a quick checkerboard. Click on Checkerboard. Okay, and then I'm going to click on the arrow up here, and that those arrows let you move back and forth from your between the modules and the nodes. So when I click on this, it allows me to go into the color of the checkerboard, and if I click on the upper one again, it allows me to go into repeat. Now we can't see anything. I'm going to hit the 7 key, or excuse me, 6 key, and it's way too big, so I'm going to go to repeat 20 times, repeat UV, and then repeat UV here. So UV 2020. Now it's really hard to tell how it looks, so we need to go into a higher rendering. So to do that, go to Renderer and go to High Quality Rendering. And there we go. There's our render. There's a high quality render right there. So as we look at it, it looks really, really good. I mean, we've got really, really nice UVs. And the only thing I can think of is that the squares should be exact squares. They're a little elongated. And if you're really, really picky about that, you can go back into the UV texture editor and fix that. Let me show you how. So let's go into Window, UV Texture Editor, and let's put, now that I got a texture on there, let's add the texture on there so you can see. And I'll move this over here like this. So I'm going to just play around. I've already saved this, so I'm not really too worried about messing with it or messing it up. So I'm going to right click and go to select shell. Now notice what happens to the cubes or to the squares when I scale them up. See how you notice how they go into a more cube shape and more uniform, and that's kind of what you're looking for. So I'm going to right click over this, go to select, and so that is like perfect. Okay, so perfect cube looks really good. The only stretching we have is right here, but as I look at the can, it's a non-issue because that's the part we're going to put aluminum on. Okay, the top looks great, so they're all matched. So we click on that, and there's a lag time. Notice that we can't do that because we have overlapping UVs now. So I'm going to go back. If it becomes an issue, I'll go back and change it. Okay, but I just wanted to show that you could make it exactly the way you want to, but then you'd have to move your UVs around, and that's really up to you. You could also do this, make them more square by doing that, but you know, I feel like it's wasting space. So I'm going to go back to where it was, and let's just see what happens. So now that I got that saved, we're going to stop the video and get into texture mapping.